selected some pre-made coloring and drawing pages that you can use as a jumping point to practice working on some cooperative drawing or coloring with your child. So at first, we want to practice working on a single coloring page at the same time, and there's a few different ways to do that. First, I'm going to just work on making this monster with my child and practice how to make suggestions, talk about what I'm doing, comment on her ideas, listen to her comments on mine, and also share some good ideas. And as I'm doing this, one of the things I want to make sure to model is how to do that in a really good tone of voice and using a vocal affect that doesn't sound like I'm giving directions or telling her what to do, but really sharing the ideas in a way that invites her to listen to them. All right, we're gonna make the monster. I wanna start by making his teeth purple. Oh. And as I begin to draw purple, my child doesn't need to wait for a turn. She can pick a color and make her suggestion and then get started with what she's doing. Some of the time I want to comment on them. So let's say she chooses green for the horns. Ooh, I love that. They look like they're so slimy. And so just kind of commenting and making your response to her suggestions and her choices really positive, even if it's a terrible idea, or even if the coloring isn't that good and we're not worrying about having everything be the right color or colored in the right space or within the lines exactly. That's not the point of this. So once we've worked on making a picture together and we're just kind of talking back and forth, now we're going to work on taking some turns giving each other directions. So with a page like this, you have multiple copies of the same thing, but it's still in one page. So now we can take turns giving each other directions for putting the icing and the toppings on each cupcake. So you can do it in a structured way where you go back and forth taking a turn, or you can just do a few each and kind of see how it flows. All right, which one should we do first? Number 3, okay, what color is that gonna be? And again, I can ask some specific questions, but I want to avoid asking too many specific questions because then I might prevent my child from feeling like she could just suggest whatever she feels like with it and that she has to go with the question that I've asked, like, what color is it going to be? Maybe she wasn't thinking about the color, she was thinking about the toppings that were going on at. So we'd work on doing this page together. And then I would look for one where we can each take a turn giving the directions for a full picture. And as we do so, we're going to listen to the other person's directions, we're going to color them in, but we're also going to start to make some suggestions or to say no to some of their directions in a positive way. So if I am coloring this bear, my child might suggest to make the hat orange, and I might say, you know, I really don't like this orange. How about blue? And she might really want me to use orange. Then I can help her to explain politely how to keep it to orange because again, the color doesn't matter. This is not a situation where we have to get into any kind of control struggle over it, but I can model how she can say that in a really polite way. No, I really think orange would look best. Okay, I'll try orange. And then I'm modeling how I can be flexible. All right, I'll make it orange. But the polka dots should be a different color. I'm going to use the other orange. So I'm adding in a little bit of element of doing it my way, but still following her directions. So again, there's so many different ways that we can practice being flexible and modeling that for our children. Then I might make a couple of suggestions, but still be listening to her as I finish coloring it in. And then I'm going to do the same for her, making sure that I kind of pause every now and then and give her the opportunity to comment on what she's doing or give a suggestion. Once that's looking good, then we want to look at taking some sort of existing drawing. Here we have a picnic basket, but there's nothing else in the picture. We could also have a house or a tree with no other details. And now we're going to talk back and forth about what else to add to the picture to make it be complete. So here we might suggest, ooh, I'm going to let's add an apple to the picture. I'm going to make it a red one with a green stem. All right, we got one fruit. What else are we going to add? And then she might make a suggestion. Maybe she suggests a banana. She draws a banana. And then I might practice being flexible and add something silly to the picnic basket. I might just suggest the silly thing and then laugh about it and wait for her to suggest something that's more appropriate. Or if we're at that stage, I might put something that really doesn't belong in the picnic basket, like a stinky sock. And with this type of being flexible, I've now put it in the drawing. I can't erase it. I could turn it into something else, but it's probably just going to be permanently here. So I want to make sure that she's at that stage of being flexible without getting upset before I add something to the picture that you can't remove. Once we're able to go back and forth and make this picture together, now we can look at having some pictures where there's a little bit less open-endedness to it, and we have to work together to really make the picture complete. So for example, this one is a robot and it has legs, but it's missing a body and a head and an arms. So we might talk back and forth about what those would look like and really work together to design it as we draw it, but there aren't really individual pieces that we're doing. Another example you could do is a picture like this, and there are some really nice coloring books that are like this where they have backgrounds with an idea at the bottom. You don't have to follow the idea, but you can use the background to then fill in what's missing. So for example, here it's a spooky picture and we're going to draw a haunted house together. So now we'll have to talk back and forth about what the house is going to look like and add the components together so that we end with one drawing that both of us worked on together. And then lastly, you could just have some blank paper and talk about a plan of what you're going to make. But you could also really practice some flexible thinking by taking something like this, which is just a page that has lots of circles on it, and we have to draw some things that are round. So we need to turn each circle into something else and practice making suggestions and thinking of ideas of how to make each one different while still having the circle there.